Hey, good morning. Happy Monday, everybody. It's Mr. Leroy. I hope you're ready for investigation two in our new book, Data About Us. If you are not on page 34 in your interactive textbook, please get there right now. And let's begin with investigation two and 1/10. Again, page 34. Here we go. Title of our investigation two: Who's in your household using the mean? The United States Census is carried out every 10 years. Among other statistics, the census provides useful information about household size. The census uses the term household to mean all the people who live in a housing unit, such as a house, an apartment, or a mobile home. When you work with a set of numbers, a single statistic is often calculated to represent the, quote, typical value to describe the center of a distribution. In investigation one, you used median and mode. As a reminder, the synonym for median is middle. The synonym for mode is most. Another measure of center is the mean. It is the most commonly used measure of center for numerical data. The mean of a set of data is often called the average. We typically use the word average, not the word mean, but that will hopefully help you remember what mean means. So, for example, all my sports fans, if you like baseball, I'm kind of missing baseball right now because the season hasn't started yet. But oftentimes you might see a batter when he comes up to bat, and underneath there'll be a statistic called the batting average. What that batting average means is what is his average for getting a hit when he comes up to bat. Okay, or maybe if you're a football fan, you might, let's see, the next time Tom Brady plays, there might be a statistic as to how many yards passing average per game might come up. So those are the kinds of things we're talking about. In our daily lives, we typically use the word average, but remember the word average means mean. Okay, let's continue. By the way, guys, this census they're talking about, we actually, your parents probably had to do this. I did this last week. So when it said every 10 years, 2020, I completed my census this year. All right, continuing on, page 35. What's a mean household size? 6 students in a middle school class used the United States Census guidelines to find the number of people in their households. Each student made a stack of cubes to show the number of people in his or her household. The stacks show that the 6 households vary in size. So we see, looks like Ollie, his family, 2 people. Pablo, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yarnell, 1, 2, 3. Ruth, 1, 2, 3, 4. Gary, 1, 2, 3. Brenda has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people in her household. What is the attribute being investigated? Remember, attribute is what is that thing we're measuring? In this case, it's number of people in a household. How can you use the cube stacks to find the median of the data set? The mode. Well, as a nice review, the median, the first thing I need to do is order these from least to greatest, right? So Ollie would be at the beginning, which he already is. Then I'd put Yarnell, then Gary, then Ruth, then Pablo and Brenda. And remember, I'd find either the middle value or I'd find the middle of the 2 middle values. And the mode is which number appears most often. That one's a little bit easier. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I've got 2 families with 6 people. I've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I've got another 2 families, but with 3 people. I've got 1 family of 4, 1 family of 2. So in this case, I have 2 modes. Family of 6, family of 4 both have 2 families with those same attributes. Now, today and tomorrow, we're going to be focusing on mean. One way to find the mean or average household size is to make all the stacks the same height by moving cubes. The evened out stacks tell you how many people there would be per household if all households were the same size. How can you use the cube stacks to find the mean household size for these 6 students? And we're going to be talking about that on the next page. Let's continue on to page 36. You can also use a table to show the data. Here is a table of the values that we just had. How else might you represent this data? Which representation tells you how many people are in all 6 households? In this problem, you will look at the mean of a data set and how it is calculated. So we are going to do part of problem A together, but you will be doing the majority of this on your own. Now, again, guys, I do apologize because normally I would have some of these graphs printed out for you, but you just got to make them yourself today, and that's all right. So what I want to do is I want to read through part A, and then I want to show you how you can kind of maneuver things around to help you find the mean of a data set. Okay? So it says you can use an ordered value bar graph, hopefully you've already written the definition of that down, to find the mean of a data set. An ordered value bar graph and a dot plot are shown below. Both display the number of people in the 6 households found in household size table 1, which is up here. You already found the mean for people by evening out the cube stacks. Well, we actually haven't done that yet, so what do they mean by that? Well, let's go ahead and pause right now and get our notebooks out, and I'm going to show you what they did. Now, you do not have to write this down if you don't want to. If you want to pause this video and copy down these cube stacks that represent the number of people in each family, right? So again, Ollie has 2 people. So for Ollie, I had a stack of 2, etc., etc. You can do this with me. If not, I think you can kind of follow along with me to determine how they use these cube stacks to find a mean of 4. So here we go. What they said is they wanted to even out the cube stacks to find the mean. So you'll notice that right now we have a couple stacks that are the same, but for the most part, our cubes are different. So they wanted us to find the mean by evening out our cube stacks. So why don't I take Ruth's square here and put it on Ollie's? Now if I do that, that means that Ollie, Yarnell, Gary, and Ruth will have a total of 3 cubes, right? However, that's not true of Pablo and Brenda, right? Here is their 3, but I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 additional blocks above the 3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to distribute these out. So I'm going to take these 3 here, or actually I'm going to take this cube and I'm going to put it on top of Ollie's. I'm going to take this cube here and put it on top of Yarnell's. I'm going to take this cube here and put it on top of Gary's. And I'm going to take this cube here and put it on top of Ruth's. Now remember, I gave this block originally to Ollie. So if that's the case, if these are all distributed, now I have a mean of 4 because each stack has 4 cubes in it. I just took a couple of these extra cubes and I evened them all out, and now every cube stack is 4. Now you might be saying to yourself right now, Mr. Leroy, I'm not sure this is the most efficient way to find the mean or average of a data set. What if we weren't looking at number of students or number of people in a family, but let's say number of ounces of water in really big cups or jugs? In other words, what if my cube stacks were really high? Well, we're going to get to that later because this is definitely not the most efficient way to find the mean, but that's what we're going to use today. So let's go back and take a look at part A. It says, number 1, explain how the ordered value bar graph and dot plot are related. So first of all, you'll notice this bar graph is a lot different than most bar graphs that we make. Don't you agree? Most bar graphs have bars that are going up and down or vertical, not sideways or horizontal. So why is this ordered value bar graph going left to right? Well, the reason that is because we only have one variable. It's number of people. If we had another variable, right, with values over here, then we make our traditional bar graph. But it's only one thing we're looking at. And of course here, we have a dot plot. Hopefully you guys remember that from last unit. So again, you don't have to make them, but just explain how these two are connected. How are they similar? They look different, but they're also very similar as well. So again, a nice sentence relating that question. So if you could do me a favor, guys, right now, and I'd like you to pause and write an answer to that question right now where it says A, number 1. Okay, here's my answer. My answer for A, number 1. Both graphs show the number of people in the households, period. One displays the data horizontally with bars, right, sideways in bars, which we see here. And the other displays the data vertically with dots, right? These dots are going up and down. So again, guys, it's the same data. It just looks different. So I'm going to have you continue, guys. There's not a lot of problems today. It's just page 37. 37, they give you another ordered value bar graph where they ask you to maybe move a few things around to figure out the median. And in part B, they give you the table just like they did in the example, but they did not create a ordered value bar graph or a dot plot. And so you're going to have to make one with this information here. Then you're going to have to find the mean and maybe explain how you found it. Have a great day of learning, guys. Make sure to upload your assignment when you're done and check your answers with the answer key that I provide to you on the Google Classroom site. Have a great day, guys.